You have a narcissist in your life, maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a romantic partner of yours. What happens if they start therapy? Everybody has to decide for themselves how long they will stay in narcissistically abusive relationships and whether or not it's worth it to continue doing so. But when it comes to therapy, 9 times out of 10, when a narcissist decides to go to therapy, it's because someone in their life who has pointed out, hey, I think you're toxic, I think you're a narcissist, has pushed them to go and get into therapy. If that's the reason, it's probably not going to work out well. Oftentimes, narcissists will do things like that just to shut their victim up. Sometimes if the narcissist is seeing a therapist that is not well educated on narcissistic abuse, they might actually start affecting the therapist in a way where now they have convinced the therapist that you are the narcissist. Or at least the narcissist might start communicating that back to you, because you may never actually know what the therapist thinks because you're just getting that information relayed to you from the narcissist. So oftentimes the manipulation is going to continue, and in fact it might get worse. Now the narcissist is becoming educated on things like gaslighting and breadcrumbing and love bombing and like all these different things that they do, and they're going to start trying to figure out how can they blame you, the victim, of actually doing those things so that they can not take accountability. That's the ultimate goal of the narcissist, is to never take any accountability. On the flip side, if the narcissist has decided themselves, you know what? I am the common denominator. I am the problem. Maybe I should go to therapy. Great. That still doesn't necessarily mean that things are going to go great from that point forward. They still have to find a therapist, be honest with the therapist and vulnerable with them, be open to receiving feedback, and be open to actually making changes in their life and then actually execute upon those changes in their life. A lot of times that's just too many hurdles for a narcissist to jump over. I would say, generally speaking, if you are in a toxic relationship of any kind, the only reason that you should stay with anyone like that is if you're starting to see consistent change to action. And you don't owe them that. And I think that's really important. If you've already been through this cycle so many times, maybe you were in a 6.5-year relationship like I was in, and my narcissist at the end was like, yes, let's definitely try couples counseling, whatever, to try to make this better, which ended up not going better because then he got aggressive with the therapist. But you don't want to prolong something if it's just going to end up back there anyway. The thing about a narcissist is that they should want to heal themselves for themselves. They shouldn't want to heal themselves for other people. So for instance, in the case of my narcissistic mother, I hope that she goes to therapy and starts getting help. I hope she does it for her, because she needs to heal in order to have healthy relationships with myself, my other siblings, her friends, her colleagues, anyone else. I cannot and should not ever be guilted into having a relationship with someone, whether again it's a family member or a intimate partner, because they've decided to go and get therapy to get help. Good for them. That doesn't necessarily mean that I have to opt back into that relationship. No one owes that to anybody else, and you don't get any awards for being a martyr in these kinds of relationships. Everybody has to answer these questions for themselves, but I will say that 9 times out of 10, if they actually have narcissistic personality disorder, it is extremely unlikely that they will ever change. And your own personal well-being, your happiness, are much more important than their comfort level. Meaning you don't have to try to make them comfortable. It is not your responsibility to do that. And you never owe them an explanation for your actions that you need to take to protect yourself.